Hey guys, Queen and Handyman here. Today we're doing a tile job. And it's super important to take your time and do a correct layout so you don't have any like tiny pieces caught in a corner somewhere. So in this instance, we did obviously full tile here and then went all the way back. And you can just lay the tiles out, just like stack them in a row and see where stuff ends up. So you'll get an idea, or you can measure. I'm a visual person, so I tend to just lay them out. In this instance, you can also, on this, if you want to put a seam right on the dead center, some people will do that and then go out to the sides, but you may have a funky end, and that would not look good. So in this instance, we started with a full tile here on this corner, and we worked all the way back into this corner. And basically we ended up with a full tile. So it's basically a full tile. It was perfect. So that's why we went with that route. Then next thing to do is you want to stack your tiles up and see where your top tile is going to be, because again, you don't want a like super thin cut at the top, so you may have to make a change, but always have a full tile on the bottom if you can, unless it looks really stupid, because you would have to continue that all the way around. Let's see, when we had some issues with this tile, I'll just give you an example. So when we got to a corner, when we got to an edge, this tile is not finished, it's only finished on the top. So when we got to the corner, we had an issue of, you could do that, but then that's shown, right? So we could do that, but then the other side is shown. So that wasn't gonna work. So what we ended up doing is we did that, and then we had this little corner piece that goes like that. And that finished it off, is what you can see as an example here on the wall. Of course, it was very difficult to do. These pieces are typically designed to go, on top of a tile like that. But we talked with the customer through it, and we're just gonna do like a grout line across the top. And she likes the way that looks, so that's what we're gonna do. But yeah, you can see here, we just did the same thing, just installed these pieces and then take everything in to the wall. These are 1/8 of an inch spacers, which is a nice space size. It gives you a nice grout line. If it's too tight, like if you put the subway, even on subway tile, I'll do a 1/8 of an inch spacer because I like that grout line in there, kind of pops. If you just put the subway tile all together, when you put your grout on, there's very little grout that ends up going in it, and then sometimes it ends up cracking out. So a little bit bigger of a grout line, I think you get a better look, and you don't get the cracking of the tile over time. I know in bathrooms they typically just slam it on there, the tile guys, because they don't have to use any spacers. It's more of a speed thing. But what we're doing now is we're just finishing out this section here, and I've got 2 tiles to put up top. So I'm gonna go and cut those, and then we're gonna show you what I do for putting this on. So I like this stuff. This is just a mastic, it's a glue, this Omni Grip. You can buy this at Home Depot. I just like it because it's really nice and creamy. And there's different ways to apply this. Most professional guys and gals will just take this and just literally just do the whole wall with it and then start setting their tile. That's cool. The issue that I've had in my experience, and again, I don't do it every day, is that, and if you're a DIY person, you may have an issue with this, is you want to make sure when you set this that it's evenly applied. You don't want a big clump, because when you put the tile on, it won't lay flat. It'll be like this, or it'll be like that. And then if you push on it, all this stuff ends up squishing out. It just makes a huge mess. So I've learned the hard way not to do that. Another reason why I don't like doing that is, especially if you're cutting around an outlet here, that takes time. So if you had put the mastic on the wall, and now you have to go cut this thing out, and it's just going to start drying, and it dries fairly quickly. It starts setting up. So then the tile doesn't stick and it just falls off. So I don't do that. I do this thing, it's called back buttering. So I just grab some glue. I just get it going on the tile. You know, it's a little bit, takes more time, but then I have I've got nice even lines. It's not perfect, but see, that's nice even lines. So when I go to put it on, that's it. And it looks great. And there's still some smudge that comes out, that's okay. But it's just a lot cleaner. And because then you don't want stuff coming through here. You don't want glue coming through here, because when it dries, then you have to cut it out. It takes so much time to do it that way. If you have a lot of glue coming through, you can do it. It just takes a long time to cut it out, and trust me, by the end of your first DIY job, you're gonna want to be done. Trust me. So start small. Start with a small project. If you're gonna do tile, start with something small. I use a wet saw. That's the first saw that I bought 25 years ago, and that's what I used to cut. Now you can buy ones where, God, what are they? They're little, I call them little chop saws, little tile saws, but they just have a little blade and you score the tile and then you snap it. So a scored snap is the style. You can do that with subway tile, and that works really well. These tiles were a little bit thicker, and these are porcelain, I think. Yeah, porcelain. And they're a little bit thicker than the subway, so it was recommended to cut. And I can get a much better, precise cut, especially when you're going around something like that. I can do a much better cut with the tile saw. So I've always pretty much done tile saw. There's only one job where I use the score and snap. So I'm going to do one more tile here for our top section. So we're going around the top. So you can see there's one side that doesn't have finish on it, and the other side, ooh, this one does have finish and this one doesn't. You see it's got that white nastiness? Okay, so we will not put that on the top. So just get some on, get about a 45-degree angle, come across, just like that. Do some wipes, and then put it up. Ooh, that one. This one I put on upside down. And so I can take that off and flip it. See, there's the finish that I wanted. So I made a little mistake there. So now we're going to flip it, put that back on. All right, so I don't like that. And it just looks like there's one tile that's not finished. So I'm going to take this one off. I'm going to set this one here because we definitely must have a finished edge at the top. And this does have a nice finished edge, so we're going to put that on top. There we go. And then we'll get some spacers in there. Just make sure they're on the line, especially after you took them off. We just have a wet rag lying around here that we just wipe that glue off so you don't have to do it later. It's a lot harder to clean the tiles later than it is to do it now. So just take your time and clean them up. This is just a little flathead screwdriver that you can use, or you can use a drywall knife or something like that, just to get some of that glue off the top. And that's pretty much it. And then we're going to cut this and then install this right on that edge like that. We're doing our grout now. This is a pre-mixed made by Liticrete, I think it's the company, smoke gray. And I don't like this stuff as much. I like mixing the stuff that comes with the water and the powder, but this is I know this is easier for people because they don't want to mix it. I get it. So you just take your trowel. This is just a rubber float, and we're just pushing it into our seams. Just kind of smushing it in there. We gotta be careful of these edges because they're delicate. Then we grab our sponge, and we're just gonna wipe in. You don't want to push the sponge in because then it takes the grout away. I mean, yeah, the grout away. So you see, that's it. Look good. If you have these little things here, make sure you get those off. But we'll finish that off there. I do want to talk about the microwave, if you have a microwave. So you can see here, I did not bring the tile all the way up to this position. And the reason I didn't do that is because when they go to remove this thing, the last thing you want is a piece of tile like, jamming up against this. So what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna come back to this, but I'm gonna take a piece of wood that's about probably to this distance here, and I'm gonna cover this section with a piece of wood, white wood trim. That way, when they go to take out the microwave, all they gotta do is pop off that piece of wood, and then they have easy access, and you don't have to cut tile. No one wants to cut tile. And a lot of, like if you buy a microwave from Home Depot, they refuse to put it in if it's over tile because they don't want the liability of cutting through the tile and snapping it. So they just won't take the job. So anyway, that's why we did that, if you're looking at that. But that's, again, all these things, you need to think about these things. It's like when you do something is, what are all the possible ramifications of, putting tile here? And just make sure you've got a plan and make sure you've really thought through it.